This is the light and the dark, the separation, the duality, the universe, the, what do I want to say, the virtual reality universe, or the construct, divided, and our spark gets sucked in, because all of this, remember, is a net, and it is, let me make it a little bit bigger if I can. Just want to make it slightly because it went too big before. There we go. This is all a net in here. We have gotten a lot of information if you watched my last video on the word net and what it means, and planets are grabbers. At least the planets in this mirrored virtual reality that mirrors a real reality. It's inside a cube. And Joseph talked about that a little bit on my interview, or I'm sorry, not Joseph, Frank talked about that on my interview. This is the vacuum of empty space over here. And this is the light, and black holes here can suck you in. So here you are, the spark, you're coming in, getting pulled into this fake reality. So you have to have a body. You get put into a light body or a soul body, your consciousness or your spark. And then that gets sucked through by a black hole into the dark reality matter, and then inside the matrix. And inside the moon matrix, or we're inside of the moon, which is a ship. Here she's showing what's inside the ship. So this is us in here in this matrix world. So everything in our world is in here. And it's got kind of like, she's going to show some close-ups on this, but this has got kind of like the dome on it where we can see the stars out here, which are lights hung in the sky along with the sun. We have to have lights in the darkness, but false reality. So anyway, we'll just keep that up for a little bit. I do have a bunch of pictures from Caroline that I want to share, but I'm going to wait till Kathy gets her pictures done, and they might make more sense. They go right along with one of my previous videos I did right before the Frank interview. So let's get into some things. Somebody asked, were we reptilian looking when we were in Atlantis? I got no, we were humanoid looking. And I asked because I got that the archons were at the top of the food chain, kind of like when I did that video on the hierarchy of the AI aliens. We had like archons, Draco, reptilians, and then it went on down. So I'm going to talk about some of those on here to remind you. So I asked the archons, the word archon just means ruler. And so they want to be mysterious about who they are. And I asked, are the archons the giants? Because if you look at this picture, you know, she has kind of like giants around here watching us. But these are really watchers. There's also giants that were at one time in here. But how many of these worlds, concentric worlds, are there? This is just showing a simplistic version of this one, but this is actually, all of this is a lot more involved, but it's just breaking down the simple thing of us. So this is not necessarily every detail accurate or whatever. This is just kind of like a thought of how to depict this. And I'm going to get to this in a second here. So let me go back here. I'm going to reread the factions, such as Nordics, Anunnaki, all these factions, Orion Group, blah, 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 blah. They're all, each one is ruled by a god that is fighting for control. I think Saturn is the ruler of the Biden party, reptilian. Anyway, let's keep moving. So Trump is represented by the sun god. The gods are the players of the video game itself. They are the ones outside of the cube They are the ones outside of the cube that holds the virtual universe. So this is the ultimate cube here you're looking at with light and dark split. This is false light, this is dark, and this is dark appearing as light. This is the ultimate cube. Within this cube, there's cube after cube, inside a cube, inside a cube, or tesseract, or however you want to look at this. I'm not, like I said, a mathematician. Don't care what all the terms are or exactly how this is, because I don't have time to break all that down. She's showing here like a flat disk with a firmament over it. So this is just one virtual inside of all these other virtuals. And in fact, this is the inside of this. She's showing that this is the inside of what's in here, which is a round globe shape, which I think is a ship, and I think it's a moon. And our actual soul body, which is what this is, may be, see if I can make this bigger, or that it'll still stay on the screen here. That may be being held on a planet somewhere. But we don't know the true meaning of moon and planet either. So get the visual out of your head that they gave you of what a moon is or looks like and what a planet is. So these are virtuals inside of virtuals inside of this ultimate cube she's drawn here. These beings are out here, outside this whole cube. The ones outside of the cube that holds the virtual universe. Even though there may be cubes inside of cubes, remember, virtuals inside of virtuals, all inside the one cube of the virtual universe. So cubes inside of cubes in here, they're burying us. So this out here where the spark is the place of wholeness I talked about and bliss. Okay, but I haven't been able to get any more information about that, but I have today. So, God, my phone's blowing up. So, let me focus again here. So we were in this place of bliss and wholeness. We got sucked through a black hole into the virtual universe, which is a cube, and then sucked into cube after cube, burying us here. Our soul is, let's say this is our soul here. It's projecting us into this thing. And then here she's showing what's inside that thing. So we're like a projection of the soul's mind projecting us, which would be like a Matrix that you saw, the Matrix movie, like it's just a projection. So, but then what is this? Where our spark is? What's this reality? This is where these beings controlling the game are. And they're looking into the cube and playing the game. So let's go into this now. So we've chosen to exit the virtual universe, to go back to our soul in previous videos. And we've stated this: when we die, or if this thing crashes, we are going back to where our soul is being held and hypnotized to project this reality. We're going back there, and we're going back fully awake of what we're actually in. And with that awareness and awakeness, our soul will wake from the hypnosis, the soul body that contains that spark. It will go back to the spark here. Now, what I'm going to give you is what we have to do from here. We have to choose to go out of this place of wholeness right here where the spark is as well. Because that is where the wholeness is, which is another place of false reality. But the real exists beyond that. So there is a real, but they're trying, this is like another layer of this false reality trying to stop us from exiting. This is a place of wholeness and bliss. So it's like, oh, I'm in a bliss. Do I want to leave? So it's another trap to try to keep us here. So let me read this again. We have to choose now to go out of, in addition to going back to our soul, going back to our spark, which we're seeing here outside of the cube. Now we also have to choose to go out of that place of wholeness where the spark is as well, because that is where the wholeness is, which is another place of false reality. But the real exists beyond that. So the process is going back to the soul, which exits through possibly a black hole. I say possibly because they may have closed that exit now. And back to the spark that exists outside of the cube of virtual reality. It's outside of all of the cubes inside of cubes, which we're seeing here. We're seeing the overall general pic here, not showing all the inner cubes. And that's where the players of the game are. So we exit and we go back to the real. So we go from here back to our soul, back through a black hole to get out of here, back to our spark. And then from here, don't get trapped in this bliss and this wholeness, go back to the real. So by us stating that now, having full understanding, we may not know every detail, but knowing the general gist of it, us stating that right now, that we're not staying in that wholeness state, which is basically this split all together into a whole. We're not staying there either. We intend to go back to the real.